Before we get started, guys, I wanted to welcome all of the viewers to my channel. Whether you're a longtime subscriber or someone who is watching my video for the first time, I really appreciate you supporting my content. I make NBA videos and we discuss basketball on this channel, but it's not all about me. You guys are all a pivotal part of this channel. If you're a basketball fan, be sure to subscribe to this channel, and more importantly, be sure to comment your thoughts on this video in the comment section down below, because I like to debate basketball on this channel. I make these videos to stimulate basketball discussion, guys. The NBA draft is one of my favorite times of the year. It's the only televised event where you can sit back and for hours watch teams on live TV make franchise-altering moves all within 6 hours. In the 2017 NBA draft alone, we saw the Philadelphia 76ers trade for the #1 overall pick and draft Markelle Fultz, who was a perfect fit for their young roster and the best player available in the whole draft. But we also saw the Minnesota Timberwolves establish themselves as a contender by announcing their trade for Jimmy Butler. But there are specific years where the NBA's incoming talent is just better than the others.
Gio down the middle before the defense gets set. Kwame Brown misses the dunk.
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play.
Not every draft class will yield a player like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In this video, we're going to rank the 8 best NBA draft classes of all time. Number 8, 1998. The 1998 NBA draft featured Mike Bibby as the #2 overall pick and Antawn Jamison with the #4 overall pick, who were both great players throughout their careers. But this draft also featured Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, and Paul Pierce. Vince Carter is the most electrifying dunker of our generation, if not the history of the NBA. Dirk Nowitzki won 2007 NBA MVP and defeated the Miami Heat monster of a big three to become an NBA champion. Not only did he do that, he also revolutionized the way the 4 position was played. And Paul Pierce is a Boston Celtics legend. Although Mike Bibby and Antawn Jamison didn't exactly fulfill their potential as higher picks, they were solid players throughout their careers. Number 7, 2008. Now, 2 years ago, if you told me that the 2008 NBA draft would be slotted this high, I would have just laughed at you. I would completely not agree. In this draft, Derrick Rose was taken #1 overall by the Chicago Bulls. Russell Westbrook was taken #4 overall, and Kevin Love was selected immediately after, with Brook Lopez going #10. It also produced solid players such as Serge Ibaka, George Hill, and Ryan Anderson. In the second round, we got Goran Dragic and DeAndre Jordan. Whether Derrick Rose deserves to be a Hall of Famer remains up for debate, because he did peak extremely early with the 2011 MVP award, and he hasn't been the same after his injuries, which is a shame because I would absolutely love to see a prime Derrick Rose go up against players like Russell Westbrook. Ironically, Russell Westbrook was considered to be a reach at the #4 overall pick, and in my mind, he deserves to be inducted to the NBA Hall of Fame no matter what, even if he somehow averages 3 points per game next year. We're talking about the 2017 NBA MVP who averaged a triple-double this season. Russell Westbrook is why this draft class goes from, oh, it produced the youngest and probably only MVP that won't make the Hall of Fame potentially in Derrick Rose, to holy crap, Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook. Westbrook has shattered multiple records and revolutionized the way point guards play basketball with his slashing style. The addition of Westbrook's MVP lifts this draft class to number 7. Number 6, 1985. The 1985 draft is also notorious for being possibly the most rigged drafts of all time. I'll briefly touch up on this conspiracy theory for those that don't know. This draft contained one of the most exciting young talents in NBA history in the form of Patrick Ewing out of Georgetown. And with David Stern just being named commissioner a year prior, he decided to do something drastic in order to make the NBA significantly more popular. So during the NBA lottery, Stern bent the envelope that contained the New York Knicks team emblem in order to give them the top pick in the draft, allowing Patrick Ewing to play in New York. the NBA's biggest market, to bring more popularity to the league that was struggling at the time. The Knicks would go on to take Patrick Ewing number 1. Other notable players include Chris Mullin by the Golden State Warriors, Detlef Schrempf at number 8, Charles Oakley at number 9, and Karl Malone at number 13, with Joe Dumars having the most team success and being selected by the Detroit Pistons at number 18. Talk about a loaded draft class. Karl Malone was easily the best player from the class because he was a 2-time MVP and a 11-time NBA first team player. He has also averaged the second greatest points per game average at 25 points per game, giving him 36,298 points, which is good enough for the second most points scored in a NBA career. Number 5, 1987. In this draft class, we were given one of the most versatile centers in NBA history in the form of David Robinson, who was the number 1 overall pick by the San Antonio Spurs. Scottie Pippen would go number 5 to Seattle before being traded to the Chicago Bulls. Horace Grant would go number 10, and Reggie Miller would eventually be selected at number 11. That's 3 Hall of Fame players in the first 11 picks. David Robinson would eventually set the Spurs up for a dynasty towards the end of his career, and is known for going off in a game, scoring 77 points.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
At that time, that was the second most points scored in NBA history, before Kobe Bryant shattered it with his 81. While Scottie Pippen would go on to win 6 championships with Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller would deliver memorable playoff moments against the New York Knicks.
5:99, 18.7 seconds left. Miller for 3, and he got it. Reggie Miller with a clutch trey, and it's 105-102. And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line and hits again.
Which is why this draft class is good enough to be in the top 5. Number 4, 2009. We're just 8 years into the careers of this draft class, and already we have a 2-time MVP and the NBA's first unanimous MVP in Steph Curry. And he was picked 7th overall. Do you know how I know this? Because every single NBA draft, Adam Silver has to go up right before announcing the number 1 overall pick in the draft and remind everyone how Steph Curry was taken number 7th in the 2009 NBA draft, how Klay Thompson was taken number 11th in the 2011 NBA draft, how Draymond Green was taken, 35th in the same draft as Klay Thompson. Okay, we get it already, Adam Silver.
You mad, bro? You must be mad. You're mad. You're mad.
Oh, and just how Adam Silver likes to shove that information down our throats, I'm gonna shove this down your guys' throat. Be sure to drop a like, smash that like button. Okay, I'm done. Blake Griffin went number 1 overall to the Los Angeles Clippers, and James Harden went number 3 overall to the OKC Thunder. Tyreek Evans looked like the best player in this draft class in everyone's rookie year, and then Blake Griffin healed from his injury and came back the next year and looked like the best player in the class the year after that. Yet Steph Curry was the only one to win a MVP and a NBA championship, and he did it twice in 8 years. We haven't even mentioned DeMar DeRozan, Drew Holiday, or Jeff Teague. This draft also produced great role players like James Johnson, Jody Meeks. I said Jody Meeks was a great player, and Taj Gibson. James Harden and Steph Curry should be part of many MVP battles for years to come, and this draft class has just begun to scratch the surface of their potential. Who knows how their careers are going to look when it's all said and done. Number 3, 1984. This draft produced Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and John Stockton. Hakeem Olajuwon was everything you ever would want in a center and eventually became a 2-time NBA champion and a MVP. Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, and oh my god, here come the LeBron here. Oh my god, the LeBron fans are coming! Michael Jordan is the second greatest player in NBA history behind LeBron James. But that's still okay. That's why this draft class is so high up there. Michael Jordan only won 6 championships with the Chicago... What's going on? What the hell just happened to my video? Was there like a diehard Cavs fan in here? Okay. Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time and put the NBA on the map, winning 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls and 5 MVP awards, though he honestly deserved more. Charles Barkley was one of the most intriguing power forwards of all time, given that he was only 6'4" and showed that size doesn't matter in the NBA to play any position. And John Stockton was one of the greatest playmakers in NBA history and formed a terrifying duo with Karl Malone. Number 2, 2003. What makes this draft class special is the fact that it was quite possibly the most overhyped draft class of all time, featuring LeBron James, a high school basketball phenom who was so hyped up that ESPN began playing all of his games. Carmelo Anthony was a bona fide winner and a volume scorer from Syracuse. Chris Bosh was a sweet shooting power forward from Georgia Tech, and Dwayne Wade was a player who had just led Marquette to the Final Four. Oh yeah, and there was also Darko Milicic, who was taken after LeBron James and before all the players we just mentioned. 4 out of the top 5 picks are Hall of Famers. But this draft also produced Chris Kaman, who I have to mention since he was an All-Star one year. How on earth did we let that happen? People vote in these, and Chris Kaman won one year. Mikal Pietrus, I should probably mention him, because if I'm mentioning Chris Kaman, I should definitely mention Mikal Pietrus. David West, who was a steal at number 18, Josh Howard, who looked to be one of the most promising young players on the Dallas Mavericks roster and a pivotal player in their 2006 run to the NBA Finals, Mo Williams and Kyle Korver in the 2nd round, and other notable players include Zaza Pachulia, Leandro Barbosa, Kendrick Perkins, and Boris Diaw. Goodness, that draft was loaded. And the crazy part is, this draft lived up to the hype. LeBron James fulfilled and shattered our expectations. Number 1, 1996. Was there any question that this was really the greatest NBA draft class of all time? The number 1 overall pick was Allen Iverson out of Georgetown, one of the most polarizing and iconic scorers in NBA history. Iverson's ball handling ability was literally poetry in motion. Marcus Camby went number 2 to the Toronto Raptors and was a great player during his career. Sharif Abdul-Rahim went number 3 overall to the Vancouver Grizzlies, and hey, he made it to an all-star team. Stephon Marbury went number 4 and may be one of the most underappreciated point guards in the history of the NBA, as his game was downright electric. Number 5 was Ray Allen, a man who would go on to set plenty of NBA shooting records, including most three-pointers made throughout a career in the regular season, playoffs, and in an NBA Finals game. Antoine Walker was number 6. We haven't even gotten to Kobe Bryant at number 13 yet, who was traded to the Lakers and would go on to be the face of their franchise for 20 seasons and win 5 NBA championships. Peja Stojakovic would go 1 pick later to the Sacramento Kings, before we got a 2-time MVP in Steve Nash at number 15. Jermaine O'Neal would go number 17 to the Portland Trail Blazers, and Ben Wallace would go undrafted, making 1996 the most loaded draft class of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please smash that like button! Smash it! Smash! Oh, dude, I gotta... something about likes just set something off in me, man. I gotta chill out. If you're new to the channel and love the NBA, be sure to subscribe, and if you've already subscribed, hit that notification bell. And finally, when my Instagram gets to 20,000 followers, I'm gonna do something crazy in my videos that you guys suggest in the comment section down below. Besides that, I'm your boy TheFlightMike, and I'm signing out, baby. Peace! Woo! Dude, people, I gotta stop dabbing in my videos, man. It's really cringe.